Hi, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be doing an upper and lower ball joint on a 2007 GMC Savanna. Let's get into it.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left.
So now that we got the tire, brake caliper, and brake rotor off, these are the parts we're going to be replacing. Going to be replacing this upper ball joint right here, and also this lower ball joint right here. You want to make sure when you get the brake caliper off that you don't put any tension on this line. And also, we don't put any tension on this ABS line either. We're going to take this off and then start with getting the nut on the bottom here off of this one, and also on the lower ball joint. Okay, so now that we got the upper and lower ball joint nuts off, now it's time to go ahead and release the ball joint from the spindle assembly. And a few ways that we can do that is to knock it on the side of the assembly here. But you want to be careful because these can be made out of castings, so they can crack and break. Another way to do it is to use a pickle fork and put the fork in here and hit it from this side, and it will separate. As you can see, this is tapered, so it will separate between the assembly and the upper control arm.
Wastelands through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays, and on we'll go. Through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
So as you saw, the pickle fork worked pretty good. You just gotta keep wedging it around and hammering it in there. And now that we have the spindle assembly moved out of the way now, we can go ahead and use our ball joint press tool to get our ball joints out. Again, I wanna stress that you do not wanna put any tension on your ABS line or your brake line. There was another connector here that was up here connected. I loosened that up, that way we have enough. I put the brake caliper over there, and the spindle assembly is just sitting on an old metal crate that we had laying around. So let's go ahead and jump in now and press out our upper and lower ball joints.
Finding life along the way, melodies we haven't played. No, I don't want no.
So as you saw, we did get the upper control arm out. I do have a video linked to how to use the ball joint press kit in the description below. Now let's go ahead, time lapse, and get the lower ball joint. I went and cleaned up all the edges because they had little tabs bent over, and then also made a flat surface for our part to mate on by cutting off this greaser. Since we are not reusing this, it won't be a problem. Our new ball joint has a grease zerk in it.
Echoing around these walls, fighting to create a song. I don't wanna miss.
Okay, so this is our upper ball joint. When we go to reinstall it, you want to make sure that this opening here is towards the spring, towards the inside of the vehicle. That way grease can come out if there's an excess amount and it doesn't get on your brake rotors. Let's go ahead and reassemble and install the upper and lower ball joint now. So now that we're going to reinstall our lower ball joint into our lower control arm, you want to make sure that you have a big enough collar with a hole in the bottom so that your stud has a spot to go through, and that it's large enough so that it goes on the outside of the shoulder and doesn't press on your stud or any other part of the ball joint. When we go and press this up in, you also want to make sure that you have a top head deep enough so that the top of this can come through the top of your lower control arm. All right, let's go ahead and press that in.
We'll go.
So as you can see, you have to just play around with all of the pieces that they give you until something works, and you can kind of use the spacing differently and put different pieces and parts together until you get your lower ball joint pressed in. You want to make sure that this face of your lower ball joint is flush up against the bottom of your control arm here, and also enough space so that you can fit your snap ring in on top right there. Now that we've got that pressed in, let's go ahead and put the snap ring in and the grease zerk, and then throw the upper ball joint in the upper control arm.
We'll go through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll
Now that we have the upper and lower ball joints on, let's go ahead and mount the spindle to the ball joints and get everything reassembled.
And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And on we'll go through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go through the wastelands, through the highways, and on.
All right, guys, that is going to wrap it up for today's video. Thank you so much for watching our ball joint replacement for the 2007 GMC Savanna. If you found this video helpful or informative, or you just love to watch cars being worked on, make sure you head over to my channel, hit that like and subscribe button, and don't forget about the little bell in the corner so you get notified next time I post a video. Anyways, that's going to wrap it up for today. Peace.